right, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome. It is Good Afternoon, Ghana. And today, what's on the table is to take a stock of what has happened with the NPP over the weekend. In their primaries, they have crossed the hurdle of the regional elections and now have their executives elected. Well, we have one outstanding, that is in the Cape Coast area. So let's see how in the central region that's going to happen. If they also, cross the hurdle of the court's injunction because they had to do with one constituency that, hadn't had its elections, that's the Kumfi constituency to be precise. So they have to go through that and then see how it will also help them go through the regional elections. But aside that, every other constituency has now come up with its new executives. Some retained, some voted out. Surprises, especially in the Ashanti, maybe in the Eastern. I don't know if the Eastern surprised people so much, but the Ashanti did. The Bono areas also did. So we'll be doing analysis of it. But in the meantime, Eastern region, we had the results of chairmanship going to Jeff Kunedu, and the Kojo Boateng pulled 202 as against Jeff Kunedu 422, and the vice chair went to Chum Berima. So we also had, well, my producers have displayed on the screen. So we have the NPP Regional Executive Election Chairmanship, Chairman-elect. So Upper West, we have Sabanya B. Kamberi. And then we also have that's Upper West. Upper East is Anthony Namu. Northern or Northeast is Fusaini Nuruddin. Savannah is Alhaji Suleiman Idrisu. Northern is Mohammed Adam Bantima Samba. And Bono, we have Kwame Bafo, a.k.a. Abronye, that also surprised people. Evans Yao Dampa is in the OT region. Evans Yao Dapa in the OT region. Bono East is Ibrahim Baba Bukari. Ahafo gave us Kwabna Owusu Setre. Kwabna Owusu Setre was for Ahafo. Entribue Siako, a.k.a. Chama Wontumi, also won the Ashanti, retained his seat, unexpected by a lot of people, even beat the polls by Benefsin. In the Eastern, Jeff Kunedu, of course. In the Volta, Makafui Kofi Wenya. Greater Accra, we had Divine Agohom. And then the Central, of course, was suspended. Western region, we had Benjamin Ama. Western region, Benjamin Ama. No, Western North, rather, Benjamin Ama. And then Western is Francis Ndede in Sia. Francis Ndede in Sia. So that's how it went across the country. We're still waiting for the Central that is suspended. And then that one, we will follow through with the legal arrangements as and when we're able to get over the court's arrangements, that is the court's injunction. Then we'll bring you the details of what will happen also at the regional level. You're watching Good Afternoon, Ghana. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the analysis.
Adia you here for 2024 no aye unity. Mijna me name regional executive sinanamu me ya shebo se obi a wugina ye bia no nya no krese olusu yi. Ebe de na part papa say o ya campaign na duru ba bia on kasa emfatia. E wo mu say nya sa na ye pe no na mum eduru baby a esen ne katre makro eduru baby a naka so obi ye bonia for 2024 breaking the age sick me name regional executive see ye de ache obi a ye da ye campaign managers ne ye campaign wo mo support ye de nyina ye da wo nyina ase o ma ya de amanfoɔ a mobɔ mpaeɛ de maa yɛ asɔfoɔ.
You're welcome back. Now let's get into the discussion. We've been joined via Zoom by Jonathan Asante-Okyere, who's a political science lecturer at University of Cape Coast, to get into the talk. We'll be speaking with Ben Efson later on, as and when he joins us. He's a poster and had predicted, certain way, and the results went the other way. So we will find out really what went wrong, what was not so clear to him. Evans Nimako is also the director of elections for the NPP, who will take his account of what has happened so far as we look forward to the national level. And I can tell you that all candidates are now on the ground, the national level on the ground. The picture is clearer to them. They're campaigning. Let's see how they also pull through when we get to the national level. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you. Kindly unmute. I think you're still on mute. Oh, okay. Let's try it. Hello. Good afternoon again.
Annie,
Okay. Great.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Sure. I have you now. So you're welcome and good afternoon. I hope you've been going through with us since Friday till now. The NPP's regional primaries that it had or that it ran. What are your first observations you can share with us, first of all?
I think by and large, they have done well. They've been able to go through successfully with little glitches here and there. And the unfortunate one is, of course, the injunction, as it were in terms of central region. But all the same, so far, so good. And apart from the acrimonious issues that we had when it came to the branch and the constituency level, this one too had its own problems. And you could see the number of times, for example, that the Ashanti region, they had to, put a hold onto it for not less than 2 times before they finally were able to go through. And so my general impression is that this is a human institution. You are definitely going to have such issues coming up as and when necessary. But the main problem is how to manage that after elections are over. And as I said earlier on, the acrimony is because the stakes are higher. And we all know the final, beneficiaries, as it were. That is the Alan and the Dr. Baumia fashion. And today, too, we are also having that of Mr. Kennedy Japan. And I don't know whether he will stick his neck out till he gets to the final, lap. So you go to the Western region, they have their own issues there. And it is now a matter of Mr. Jogati. And the dynamics are just, many and different. So I think that they've been able to successfully organize their regional, elections. Yeah.
Do you not think that generally, I know that we had issues of some pockets of vigilante boys creating, we're told that it was invisible forces. I'm not sure how that's factual. But on the general note, it was quite peaceful than, what was predicted by some people.
Yes. In its entirety, it was peaceful. But you cannot discount the elements or pockets of misunderstandings here and there. And this vigilante thing, can you imagine Nchubu Osuaku himself, that is Chairman Wontumi, he himself complaining of somebody's tax and vigilantes that are being used? It's very strange and interesting. So maybe when you get into the nitty-gritty of the analysis or those who have been voted for, especially those who have been making waves in the media, then probably we'll know the kind of views that we'll have to have or express. Because for the Ashanti region to retain Chairman Wontumi and Bono to retain Abronye and so on and so forth, I mean, we need to know the philosophy behind the decision of the delegates. Is it the case that they were manipulated, cajoled into taking decisions of that nature? Or do you think that as far as the NPP is concerned, that is the way they want to go as far as the future of the party is concerned?
When you say that, am I right to think that you were also predicting that Abronye is likely to lose, or you pitched him to be defeated?
Well, I did not predict any such things. It is just that I need to understand, for example, sometimes the internal party politicking is so closed that you find it difficult, as it were, to pinpoint exactly how things should go. And it is very easy for those contesting to be able to influence a certain number of people at the internal party political level. But at a national, the dynamics are different. So I need to know, for example, the NPP as it stands to be an elitist. You know the confusion surrounding Mr. Wuntumi and so on and so forth. You know, the unrefined nature that he organizes himself, the way he speaks, and the NPP party that says they have the men and so on and so forth. Well, there must be something different that he is portraying or that he's been given or been delivering to the party. That's the more reason why the delegates, think that he should be the one leading. Because I know that I had my internal discussion with other NPP faithfuls, and the impression I got was that they were going to kick him out. But he was smart enough to go behind the scenes to apologize, to beg, to ask people to forgive him and so on and so forth. Well, I have that kind of information. So probably that is what might have worked the magic.
I mean, like you said, maybe it is something else aside what you hear them say, like gives them a certain output of personality. And maybe the party also considered, or as delegates, they consider certain different factors that we probably do not know, or it's not out in the open, and they think that they need them more than doing away with them.
Well, the current dynamic is that it is Baumia and Alan issue here. And so I have heard, for example, people making analysis that, Dr. Baumia has won Ashanti region, he's won Savannah. How do you know that? Of course, you have chairmen who have expressed that kind of willingness to support Dr. Baumia, thinking that he should be the one to lead the party. There are others who have also expressed, their allegiance to Mr. Allen. And you see, for now, power is in the hands of Mr. Akufo-Addo. And so that is the head of the party. And so it is very easy for people to express that kind of willingness and allegiance to especially Dr. Baumia. Why? Because the vice president, and it is not a secret knowledge that he has a support of the president. So it is very easy for those who feel that we need to tilt towards where power is for them to do so. So that is the more reason why the stakes have become more high, and it's going to be even more high when it comes to national elections, because all these, acrimony have come about because people are positioning themselves for the ultimate, and that is the presidential candidature. And in whichever form that it takes, they are going to have problems. They're going to have problems. So that's the more reason why I needed to know the rationale behind the delegate re-electing Chairman Wuntumi and the likes of Abronye. Not because I dislike them, but because the way they do their politics, I think going forward, it ought to be a bit refined. And, other than that, I have nothing against them. Maybe they've seen something else that those outside have not seen. But you need to also consider the national aspect, because winning at the local or domestic or internal is not what it takes. Because the condition, the situation generally in the country, will determine whoever wins the elections in the 2024 election.
in the case of Chairman Wonsumi, right after he won, he was quick and fast enough to say, I am sorry. I mean, for whatever I didn't do right. I don't know about Abronya, but, Wonsumi may have come to realization that there are a few things that he has done, maybe apart from party commitment, maybe commitment, communication also, as far as his work is concerned or his office is concerned, has not been too good. So on his part, he may have realized that a few things are not going well. Not so?
Yeah, certainly. And I think that is quite smart on his behalf. It's a smart move that, he took. But as to whether he'll be able to walk the talk, only time will tell. He is not the type who is able to bring others on board. And he easily rubbishes others. And that is the more reason why, he felt that there was a need for him to make that kind of statement, as it were, to try to bring all those wounded, injured, aggrieved, on board. But we are yet to see if we'll be able to walk the talk, because certainly the way and manner the Ashanti regional one was organized for it to be postponed twice, before finally they had to go ahead and do the thing. It should tell you that on the ground, people are really peeved. And as to whether he will have the temerity to be able to pull all and sundry together for the 2024 elections, only time will tell. And his actions and pronouncement will tell us whether he will be able to walk that particular talk.
Now, these two persons that we're talking about, in the case of Abronya in Bono and in the case of Wonsumi in Ashanti, Wonsumi lost a seat to the NDC in the 2020. In the case of Bono, I think Abronya lost about 4 seats to the NDC. There are re-elections, and with Wonsumi, realizing some of his mistakes, how's it going to play into the dynamics of 2024? I mean, Wonsumi is bent on winning back his seats. In fact, winning all the seats in the Ashanti region. How is that going to play to the dynamics come 2024?
Yeah, and it's very easy for him to make such a prediction. As it stands now, you may be able to have your way with the delegates, but the generality of the masses is something that I don't know how he will be able to do that. I don't see that happening. I may not be a doommonger, but I don't see that happening. Having lost those seats, and because there was a kind of wave that was blowing in the 2020 elections, but the finality, the NDC wanted to win and they could not, as it were. And so if you decide to go on the same tangent, are you expecting something new? I was thinking that, but I'm foreseeing, should they lose the 2024 elections, all those people will be cleared, because then the masses will now be looking forward to a new direction. But if they're able to win, then probably the kind of confidence they reposed in them, they would have actualized that. Other than that, I don't see the reason why NPP as a party in itself, that's why I said they must have seen something different in Wonsumi. Maybe his organizational skill, maybe he's predisposed in terms of resources and other things. Of course, nobody will want to use his personal resources in that manner. But of course, if he's able to do so, continuously does so, then maybe that's the more reason why people consider him. Other than that, party, the hub of the NPP is in the Ashanti region. And Bono and all those places, and if you think that these are the people who ought to be chairpersons at this crucial time, because the 2024 elections, the stakes are more higher than 2020 and 2016, because the NDC will be going into that particular election with the view that they are going to win. And this has even become more prevalent because of the economic conditions that we find ourselves. And so whichever form or nature is going to be a tedious task,
Right.
for the NPP. So to have such categories of people to be chairpersons or retained, I think that they may have their own reasons, but other than
Right.
that, yeah.
Let me hold on, Jonathan. Let me go to Benefsin Polster, and he predicted a few, wins and defeats. In the case of the Ashanti, it didn't go so well, according to how he predicted. I don't know if that was his prediction. Anyway, let me get to him. Uncle Ben, good afternoon. You're welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. So, how did it turn out for you? Because we were expecting that. In fact, the last time I spoke with you, you expected Wontumi to lose. And it didn't go, that way. What do you think changed?
Madam, what happened, I can't repeat it on your network because of legal problems. Something happened. Otherwise, the delegates there under normal circumstances, they will not reward a chairman who under his watch, the NPP's percentage of win in Ashanti region dropped from 76% in 2016 to 71.6% in 2020. 2, the man claims he has 100 houses, but goes to hire offices for the party, defaults in rent payment, and the party is thrown out. They were so angry. But I'm sure you know what I'm referring to, that I can't repeat what happened on your network because of legal reasons. Certain things happened. And if the NPP is going to allow Wontumi to run the party like he did between 2016 and 2020, they should forget 2024. The man ran.
Right, we're trying to have a conversation with Benefsin Polster, and he said a few sensitive stuff. Unfortunately, I do not know what he's talking about, so I would like him to explain that further. That he's making a point that a chairman who led the party at 76% to 71% drop is something that informs the delegates to vote you out. You claim you have 100 houses, but you fought in rent payment of a party office. You have answers to. And so a few factors played to, Wontumi's gallery that was not favoring him and expected that delegates will vote against him. What Benefsin has at hand that we do not know, I think it will be interesting to go into it. Benefsin, can you hear me now? Are you still there? Okay, I
Yes,
think.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. So you were on a point. You're saying that if the party would,
See, what I'm saying is that there are allegations of money, huge sums of money allegedly changed hands. That is what changed the situation in Ashanti region. Huge sums of money allegedly changed hands. But the delegates are sensible. They know what they want for their party. So the result of what happened are those considerations that took place.
So this huge sums of money, they changed hand between who and who?
They were given to people to allegedly induce them to vote for Wontumi. I mean, can you imagine? Because when we did the research there were delegates who were angry about the way the party was being run. So if voting takes place and he wins with such a tidy margin, you must know something to. We think that the delegates there don't know that the party is being run down and they vote him back. What pushed them to vote him in?
Between what period was your research done?
The research was done before even there was the election of the polling station executives, and we did it again after the election of polling station executives, and it was almost the same. That was before the polling station people were elected, and after they were elected, there was a general dissatisfaction of his leadership in the region, of the party in the region.
And in terms of percentage,
I
I
think you
could
need to
say
bear
that.
in mind that,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the party dropped from 76% that it had in Ashanti region in 2016 to 71.6% in 2020. Now, anytime the NDC, the NPP gets 70 and below in Ashanti region, and they get below 60% in Eastern region, the NDC will win the general election. So if the party leaders, the Council of Elders in Ashanti region, are going to allow Wontumi to run the party as he did between 2016 and 2020, they should forget 2024. Unless there's a general change in the way he's administering the party, they should forget 2024.
So it means that between the polling station election, the polling station elections and regional elections, there was enough time for the delegates to, be bought.
Oh, yes, clearly, yes.
Do you believe that Wontumi bought the delegates' votes? I mean, first you said it's allegation, yes.
You can.
But do you believe that he bought their votes?
Yes, allegation. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. How do you vote a chairman in who has run down the party by almost 5 percentage points? Does it make sense to you? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. The party got 76% in 2016, and in 2020, they dropped to 71.6. And you reward such a person with another term of 4 years. Does it make sense to you, madam? It doesn't. Doesn't make sense.
I mean, during the voting, there was a point where the voting itself came to a standstill. I think it ended at some point. It came to a standstill. There was a number of about 63 TESCON members who were, removed or stopped from voting, and they had to check and review if these members are qualified to vote. I mean, all that's played out. So a few factors may affect the voting, even on the voting day. So from the day you did your polling till the time for the regional elections, I mean, Wontumi had enough time. If he picked from your polling results, he would have enough time to go around and not maybe necessarily just share money, but, speak to the delegates. And you could tell right after the results came out, he apologized. And so anything could happen apart from just sharing money or buying off votes.
Madam, in 22 years, I've done polling and I have a success rate of 83%. So I cannot say I'm a novice in polling in Ghana. I started in 2000, that's 22 years ago. Now, if somebody, for example, has never held 2,000 cedis as his own money before, and he's given an amount like 10,000, take and vote for A or B, won't you do that? I'll give you an example. Won't you do that?
Is that what he did?
Why is he apologizing? You should be happy. No, I'm not saying that's what he did. I'll give you an example. Why is he apologizing? If you won by your good deeds of the party dropping from 76 to 71, why are you apologizing? You should be happy. I'm saying that for legal reasons, I can't go into the nitty-gritties. But I'm proud of the work I did. Why is he apologizing? For what? What has he done wrong if he thinks he's done a good job?
If he indeed, for legal reasons, and I respect that, if indeed you have some sensitive information on this allegation, I don't know if you've made any attempt to draw the attention of the party and its executives?
Oh, the party cannot be naive to what happened. The party cannot be naive to what happened.
But the party must be concerned. I mean,
somebody.
This is someone who, by records, saw the party as a chairman drop from 76 to 71%. The party must be concerned about who is running the party. So if his capacity is not up to what the party is expecting, and that will affect the party's, maybe opportunities or, chances in 2024, they must be concerned, don't you think?
You know something? Let me give you a little bit more detail. One of the persons who was campaigning vehemently against Wontumi being in office, by the close of the voting, he sent me a voice note apologizing and explaining why he had to vote for Wontumi. I will leave it there. You get me? One of the people that my guys talked to, who was vehement against Wontumi continuing in office,
right,
sent a voice note to me explaining why he had to vote for Wontumi. So I know why he had to.
And for clarity's sake, this was after the...
You get me?
Yes, this was after the voting.
Yes, he told me why he had to vote for Wontumi. He didn't like it. He was among those who my people interviewed. So, I mean, they gave me his number. I talked to him. By the close of voting, he sent me a voice note apologizing, explaining why he had to vote for Wontumi. Now, if Wontumi, people say are going to lose, and you win, why do you apologize? You apologize for being so popular? No. He's a human being. He's got conscience. Why is he apologizing? Have you asked him why he apologized for winning? How do you apologize for winning if you are that good? Madam, it is said that if the goat wants to spoil your wall, you see that his own skin will remove from his body.
Let me move you from Ashanti region to Bono. I'll move to Bono. So in the case of Abronye, that also was quite a surprise. I don't know if you expected, or did you run polls on Abronye, and how did it look like, and the outcome? How do you see what has happened?
No, I mean, we did only, you see, what we've been doing is that we've been tracking Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, and Central regions from election of the police station executives, trying to find out which of the flag bearers have their people in place. So for these regional elections, it was more of Ashanti that we did, because Eastern, until 3 weeks to time,
right,
it was obvious that Jeff was going to win. So it was Ashanti who had concentrated on mainly, because you see, we'll be doing projections for the flag bearership. And the flag bearership is going to be 200,000. It's not going to be 16 or 15 regional chairpersons who will be able to influence who will win the flag bearership. Over 200,000 delegates in the end will vote for the flag bearer. So you will we'll be monitoring from the election of the polling stations up to constituency elections. So it was part of something we had been doing in Ashanti. That is why, along the line from polling station to constituency, you could see their anger against Wontumi.
Did the okay, so let's say Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra. That's where your attention was.
It was.
Ashanti,
and Central did not take place because of
the court's injunction.
And yes, that is for Central. There's a court injunction on the elections in Central.
Did the flag bearership names play, any undertone roles in the outcome, especially for the chairman and maybe the secretary? Did you think that they played any role? We have analysis of, well, Baumia is winning. We have others also saying, oh, Alan is winning and all that. How did it really play out?
Madam, if you know how the thing plays out, and yes, it only gives psychological advantage. Because of in 2007, the NPP had 17 leading members contesting. So they've now evolved a system. If there are more than 5 persons, there will be a mini college.
Right.
There will be a mini college to select 5 people. And the 5 persons will be voted for by over 200,000 people. So if you, the flag bearer, you don't get flag bearer aspirant, you don't get your people elected at the polling station level. That's the biggest base. And then constituency, you may have your people elected as the regional chairman or even as the national chairman, and you will lose the flag bearership race because you won't have your people. 200,000 people will be voting. And the regions, the constituency, the regional chairpersons, maximum 20, 30. So if you get your people at the regional level, down at the base, you would have lost. And from the work we've done with the polling station executives and the constituency, I think that the vice president's name has come up, Alan Martin's name has come up, Kennedy Japan's name too has come up. So, I mean, the flag bearership race is going to be very interesting.
Please hold on, and I'll just take a quick breather when I come back. I think, Jonathan, are you also there? Okay, so I think Jonathan is there. When I come back, we'll get the wrapping up comments about the profligacy people are talking about, and maybe the candidature of Kennedy Japan that's coming up with us shortly. All right, welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. We're having an interesting discussion with our guest, Jonathan Asante, who is a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. We also have Benefsin Polster, who's made some allegations. Picked up allegations on the ground. I'll put it that way. He's picked up allegations on the ground of what has happened, and he has even received messages that points to the fact that indeed maybe the allegations he's heard are true. But that's left for investigation to go on. Jonathan, let me bring you in. So maybe on the back of the allegations made by Benefsin, what do you say to it?
Annie, I stopped short of coming up with specifics, as it were, because as he said, for legal reasons. That is the more reason why I virtually posed a rhetorical question that is quite strange, that somebody who displayed that kind of inefficiency in handling the elections in the Ashanti region will be rewarded again. So it is quite strange. Quite apart from that, I think that the problem may not entirely be his. On the national level, that the president, they had to give free water and free electricity. Of course, they had also picked intelligence on the ground. The BNI had done their investigation and the research, and it was not going the way of the party in generality. But also, don't also forget that during the parliamentary primaries, so many issues also cropped up, and the party faithfuls were really, really angry, and that's the more reason why it resulted in that particular result that we had in 2020 elections, and the hung parliament that we have today. And so the factors are many, and he himself is one of the factors, and he's not really conducted himself well. as far as the running of the affairs of the region in terms of the party is concerned, he's not. And so it is quite strange. But in the delegate system, so many things can happen. But if it doesn't go the way they have planned, then obviously they will have themselves to blame. That's why I said that at the end of the 2024 elections, if things don't go the way of the NPP and the ground is not that good, then obviously all of them will be cleared. All of them will be cleared. And as I said, as it stands now, whatever they are doing is to position themselves as far as the Alan and the Dr. Baumia, clique are concerned. And that is the finality. Nothing else, nothing more. So if you have avowed chairpersons who have virtually declared for this or that, that's the more reason why, people will want to put in a lot of resources just to win. And they think that they will be able to influence those down there. And, when it comes to things of that nature, money really, really works. Money really, really influences a lot of decisions that are taken over there. So I'm just a bit surprised that it went the way that it went. Be that as it may.
Well, maybe
didn't see
Benefson
that
has
it was
made
going
it
to
easier
lose.
for you to understand why it went. So your surprise can be erased. Your being surprised can be erased.
Well, I thought that when it comes to the delegates in the Ashanti region, when they don't like you, when they decide that you are going to go off,
Yeah, I thought so
no
too.
matter the influence,
Yeah.
no matter the influence, they will kick you out. That is what I've known them to do. You see, that's what I've known them to do, because don't forget, before President Akufo-Addo became the flag bearer in the 2008 elections, how did Mr. Allen get the name Alan Cash? You get the point. So we know how it all happened. But when the majority of the people decided, look, this is the way we want to go, irrespective of those kinds of manipulations, they don't work. So
Maybe I will speculate to say, oh, maybe the booty was so juicy or too juicy to let go.
Certainly, no doubt about that. And it is nothing new in the internal politics of today. It is nothing new.
Right.
The stakes are always getting higher and higher. And the quotation of 10,000, I'm not surprised. 5,000 is even on the lower side. 5,000 is on the lower side. But, 10,000 for real. And you don't expect, people who are deprived in terms of resources, poverty, unemployment here and there. It's very difficult for them to decline such offers. But I expected that when it comes to the Ashanti region, the hub of the party, when they say that they don't like you, no matter, they will collect it, but they will not vote for you. That is how I've always known them to be. But this time around, it appears a bit strange to me.
And before I move to Benefson, touch on the names that have popped up in terms of flag bearership race. Kennedy Japan has popped up, Alan Chemating, and also Dr. Baumia, who is the vice president currently. How it played out before I move to Benefson.
Maybe when the elections are done, then we may do deeper analysis. As it stands now, I've said that the NPP is at crossroads. And you have two extremes, those who prefer Dr. Baumia and those who prefer Mr. Allen. And those within the middle belt who are compromisers are asking for the two to join forces and contest the NBC candidate.
Right.
You get the point. And so Mr. Kennedy Japan's name coming up, yes, internally, he's a strong person as far as the party is concerned, but his demeanor, his outward expression. I mean, will Ghanaians want to elect someone who will come and insult them in the public domain? As poor as some people may be, they value their integrity. And so I don't think that that is the way they will want to go. Probably something else, but not a president of the Republic of Ghana in the Fourth Republic. I don't see that happening. And I don't see how the NPP, would take such a beat.
Sure. All right.
The,
Let me.
the struggle is just between the two main candidates. That's all.
Well, okay. Benefson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right,
Can
right,
you hear
right,
me?
right. Sure, but it's actually illegal if we are able to establish that a candidate bought votes. Right? Should we be worried if we know that Benefsin has information leading to something of this nature, and is still not making any move towards that, or is sitting on the information?
Madam, with due apologies, you must be very naive to think that there will be elections in this country, whether within parties or at national level, and monies won't change hands. They do.
Yeah, but that doesn't make
I'm just saying that
doesn't
you
make
think
it proper.
about it. Doesn't make it proper. I mean, I'm sure if the security agent, you see, and this will be the first, and it won't stop. Why is he apologizing? You've won. People say you will lose. You've won quite handsomely. Why are you apologizing? Think about that. You preside over almost a 5% drop in your party's fortunes. You rent offices, you don't pay rent, and you are thrown out, and you win. Why are you apologizing? For what?
Let's wrap up on the Canada Japan's candidature that's coming up. What do you make of it, mixing up with all these names that have already come up within the flag bearership positions of the NPP?
Well, I think that Kennedy's Kennedy contestant, he would draw votes from Alan, he would draw votes from Baumia. I mean, clearly, it's going to kind of be a three-horse race. The others in the race, if there are more than 5, there'll be a mini college to select the top 5, who will eventually be voted for by about 200,000 delegates across the country. So it's too early days yet. I'm sure the flag bearership race itself will be done in about a year's time, I think. But clearly, MPP wanting to break the 8 will not be easy for them. I mean, the NDC perhaps they would have finished putting their house in order at that time. But it's not going to be easy for the two main parties.
Someone sent a message. He says that is Benefsin having problems with Wontumi and Abronia because Greater Accra chairman have a big problem in 2020 election. I don't know what you're trying to say, but good afternoon. Wontumi is winning the chairmanship bid. Wontumi winning the chairmanship bid is a clear indication that Mr. Efsin did not get his polls right, because in elections, anything and everything is possible. Well, he has already mentioned that the possibility of it also includes paying off. And he says, I must be naive to think that elections will go on in this country and monies will not change hands. But my question is, does that make it right? If you have the information, what do we do?
Madam, it doesn't make it right. You see, I started doing opinion polls in 2000.
Right.
I've done 22 years of opinion polls across elections. And I think that my 83% success rate makes me very proud of what I do. I'm saying that for legal reasons, I can't go into details. But can you think that if you are going to miss shoes, people say you are going to lose, you win? What are you apologizing for? Think about that in your spare moment when you are off air. What are you apologizing for?
Right. But we'll leave it here. Our time is up. We'll get back to you definitely. We're still on the analysis, how the NPP is going to go through the central region with the court injunction. Let's see how they also run the court issue. And then we'll come up to the regional level and have their central regional primaries. Then they will elect their new executives. But for now, the list is out. We have a clear picture of how the regions look like. Palgrave, good morning, good afternoon to you. Palgrave, Wachidankwa, good afternoon to you. And thank you for watching from where you are. messages for me. But that's all time will allow us. This afternoon, we had Jonathan Asante-Ochre, political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, and also beneficent poster, joining us and telling us what he thought of what happened in the Ashanti region. This has been Good Afternoon, Ghana. Thank you for watching.